Gene Deal breaks silence on Cassie's shocking claim on what Diddy forced her to do with other men. Now, we all heard a lot of things by Cassie taking the stand. Hey, that's the best resources, right? The horse's mouth. That's what they say. All right, but now we have Gene Deal. He's breaking the silence on the things that Cassie has been saying. Y'all don't know who Gene Deal is? He's Diddy's ex-bodyguard. He spills a lot of info, and we like that. Keep it going, Gene. Let's go, man. Spicy.
Gene Deal, happy to have you back on the platform, man.
Man, we been here, done that. Let's do it again.
Yes, indeed, man. We got a lot to get into, man.
Hey, Gene getting paid good money from whoever owned this platform, bro. He getting good money. Gene Deal be on this mother all the time.
A lot going on this week. The first week of Diddy trial. I got to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of people giving opinions now. At first, everybody was scared to give their opinion, and now they front and center telling all their stories, all they Diddy stories. He gonna break the internet. He gonna break YouTube. You see how many content creators is coming out and giving their opinion on this subject? Hell, man, it's crazy.
Hello, somebody. I'm one of them, Gene, by the way.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So I guess you got a couple of questions for me right now, don't you?
Yeah, man, I got a lot to ask you.
All right, man. Hey, before you get started, man, I know most of this stuff is going to be about the trial and everything like that, but I just want people to know that I want to say something regarding the whole trial that came out that I thought that was significant. And another content creator had somebody who came out and spoke on this stuff, and this is about Drock. I did a whole, you don't mind if I do this, Mighty, right?
No, break it all down. You got all the time in the world, man.
All right, thanks, brother. I did a whole show. It's called The Biblical Betrayal of Biggie Smalls, where I lined up whatever happened to Big that night that week, and how it got played out and where he lost his life. When I said that Drock and Puff had Big go to that party. Now, it came out in the trial about Drock. Cassie was mentioning a lot of stuff about Drock. It's a couple of stories I knew. One, Drock told me the story. You understand? When I first was trying to get in touch with Puff. And two, I heard what Cassie had said. But I don't want to address that because I don't know your line of questioning. But I do want to address this, that Drock is the one who got Big out the room, and that's when Puff had took Drock about all day, and me and Big was in the Winnebago together talking about his whole life story. Big told me his whole life story. I told this 1,000 times, brother. But in the trial, Cassie had said something about Drock being head of Puff security after I had left. You understand? And that's when Drock had came home. You understand? They all moved out to California, the whole 9 yards. Now, Drock let Puff trick him. I don't believe that Drock was that sinister and knew what he was doing. I can't believe that he knew what he was doing and getting Big to that party. I knew that Puff may have promised him something. Puff may have promised Drock something to help him get Big to that party. Because for some reason, Big had to be at that party because Puff is the one who, and you'll see in Kirk Burroughs' papers, that Puff is the one who scratched out Big trip from going to London, and then turned around and lied that Big didn't want to go to London, which was a bunch of crap. You understand what I'm saying? Because he asked Clark Kent to go to London with him.
Okay, so basically, what Gene is saying at this point is Biggie would have still been alive had he would have went to London. But Puffy made sure that he didn't go to London, and he had to go to Cali to this particular party and to promote his album. I think it was Life After Death, the album. That's crazy.
He asked Clark Kent to go to London with him. And Clark Kent was going to go to London with him, God bless the dead. You understand? Clark Kent told that story. Now, in this trial, Cassie was telling how D-Rock and Puff was trying to line Suge Knight up. But like I said, I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm just going to get into the fact that D-Rock has been with Puff since Big died. You understand? He went and did a little time, and when he was in jail, he was letting everybody know when he come home, Puff was going to take care of him. And he became head of Puff security, making sure Puff was all right. Puff also gave him that clothing line, which was Bully. It was Big's ideal, but it was Invisible Bully. You understand? Gave him that clothing line. They was doing a little work, and he was doing the T-shirts and everything like that. And I guess Puff was actually, paying him back for helping him get big to that party. I'm glad Miss Wallace ain't here, brother, to see and hear what we're finding out about D-Rock now and the things that he did and how he was, so close to Puff and doing some of the things with Puff. And it's crazy right now. I'm glad Miss Wallace is not here to hear that because she was somewhat fond of D-Rock. You understand? She was really fond of D-Rock. But it's crazy, man, how all this stuff is going out. And I told this story, and now it's become viral on a lot of platforms and a lot of things is going viral on the internet that D-Rock helped line Big up, for that night Big got murdered. You understand? And it was crazy, and it goes through my mind every time I hear something about that when I'm seeing D-Rock hold his head talking about, yo, they got my man, the night Big got shot up. So I just wanted to bring that out there, bro. And you might have some more questioning on that later on or whatever, I don't know. But you go ahead and do your thing, man. That was real big on this trial to me, to hear that come out there like that.
Wow, man. But speaking of Suge,
That's
Cassie
crazy.
testified that Diddy stopped in the middle of a freak off. When D-Rock came in the room and told Diddy that Suge was at a diner, you know anything about that? Can you break that down?
Well, see, I know two situations like that. See, Cassie told the story on the witness stand about how Puff and her was in a freak off, and then D-Rock intervened or whatever like that, and they masked themselves up in all black, took the guns out the safe, and went to find Suge. You know what I'm saying? Suge even spoke about he glad they didn't find him because a whole lot of other people probably been dead then too, if they would have found him. Now, she testified that, Puff and D-Rock was going to try to, unalive Suge. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I do know this, me and D-Rock had a conversation about why he's so close to Puff now. You understand? And he told me he was in a diner, Mel's Diner. I guess it was probably Mel's Diner. That's one of the diners that stay late open in California. He said that he was trapped in there and he ain't have no burners or nothing on him. He ain't have no guns, no nothing. He said he called Puff. Now, this is a story coming from D-Rock. He said he called Puff, and Puff came there. But if Puff would have came in the diner, they would have known something. He didn't come to the diner. He sent Cassie in there with the burners. And Cassie gave D-Rock the gun in the diner. Now, this is coming from D-Rock. The story Cassie told is that it was a whole different story from what D-Rock had told me, because D-Rock said he was in the diner himself. And Puff came down there with the guns, sent Cassie in there and gave him one, and was outside waiting on him to come outside. So that's the story that I knew, and I had already said that and expressed that in one of my.
Well, I mean, that's a crazy situation for the guy D-Rock to be in, but for him to call Diddy, and Diddy actually pull up and brought him to burner, I guess that do make him a friend. Now, come on, he ain't left him out there by himself. He did what the best thing he could do. He brought the man some protection. So I guess that's a plus.
My shows before. Now, the story Cassie told, it was like she saw D-Rock and Puff both put on black and went to go unalive Suge. So those are two different stories that I know of, one from D-Rock and the one we heard from Cassie. It may be the same story, and Cassie just flipped it some kind of way, because D-Rock told me this years ago. And then maybe Cassie just, flipped it in a certain kind of way because she took the gun to D-Rock, according to D-Rock.
Oh,
right,
wow.
But to get into this lawsuit, right, Cassie, she testified that Diddy would force male escorts to urinate in her mouth during freakos.
My man, that's a touchy and difficult subject when you're a man and you have daughters. You understand? And that's why it
really is, though. It really is.
Play a prominent part in our daughters' lives.
Facts.
Because you get men like this that's got this corrupt and devious minds that they don't respect womanhood. You understand? That's some nasty, perverted things that you want to have somebody urinate in the mouth of somebody who going to be talking to you in your face, who going to be kissing on you, who going to be eating food with you. What kind of deviant and crazy mind you have to have somebody do that to somebody that you care about, you supposed to care about, that you supposed to love, man. Something is sick about that, brother. You can't tell me that that's some kind of fetish. You know what I'm saying? He didn't outdid R. Kelly with that shit right there, bro, when I heard that. So that's an effed up subject and situation, man, to even imagine that you got somebody doing that to somebody that you supposed to care about and you supposed to be in a relationship with.
Yeah, when I heard that, that was crazy to hear. Disturbing, man.
You can't make this shit up, bro. This is made for Triple X TV. The stories that we're hearing about the things that Cassie has done, and we got these people out here believing that, she made this shit up. She ain't did this with nobody. I ain't seen not one of her ex-boyfriends. I ain't seen not one of the people that she dated in high school or none of that stuff come out and say that she was doing that way before she got to Diddy. So it is disturbing, bro.
Facts.
It's disturbing that he could brainwash her to the point whereas that she believing that she pleasing him and all his fetishes and everything by doing some shit that she's doing for him, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wild. That's real wild.
Yeah, she testified that Diddy, he'll rub male escorts cum on his nipples. That's crazy, man.
That's bro, insane. What do you want me to say about that?
Jesus, man, what the hell you want me to say about it? Gene said, man, I don't feel comfortable talking about this shit, man.
You know, that's some nasty, perverted shit.
That's nasty
You know
as
what I'm
hell,
saying?
Puff.
Bruh, when you that high and you into that, that's the, to me, that's the demonic, bruh. That's some old crazy
That's past
otherworld
demonic.
shit.
That's
Excuse me for my language. That's some crazy otherworld stuff that people in their right minds don't even think of stuff like that, bruh. People that's not in a whole sense of being perverted, that's triple X type of shit, man. That's stuff that normal people don't even think of, man. How high do you get that you want another man
bodily fluid.
juices rubbed on
Yeah.
you after dating ejaculated or come on your girl? How high do you get for that shit, bro? I always say this.
Gee, funny, bro.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
That's crazy. But do you believe that he'll rub male escorts cum on his nipples? Like, you believe he'll do something like that?
I believe from the witness. The witness said it. The witness said that's what she had to do, and that's what she did. She's being forefront in her testimony. She's telling all the nasty stuff that she did. She said,
and mind you now, she is under oath, though. She is under oath. Some people do lie under oath, but I don't think Cassie lying, bro. I don't think she lying at all,
the nasty
bro.
stuff that he did. Right now, he's getting his judgment right here on earth, bro. He's hearing all the perverted things he had to see that he was doing, and now that he's not on those drugs, reality is sinking in.
Facts.
See, when he's all on those drugs and everything like that, it seemed like it was nothing. But now that he's been in jail and he probably ain't getting the drugs, because we know they sneak drugs in jail too, you understand? But he probably ain't getting the drugs. He's sitting there and reality is hitting him, man. He's seeing all the stuff that he was doing, and it probably be a time that he break down in court some kind of way.
Yeah, she also testified how Diddy had an inflatable pool in his hotel room where he filled it up with baby oil for a freak off.
Yo, my man.
Inflatable pool
is coming from the drugs. You put an inflatable pool in a hotel, you take baby oil and you fill it up, and you watch your girl get smashed out by a male escort that you didn't pay to come in to have sex with her, so you could get his semen and rub it on your body and watch and man, come on, bro. I hope this ain't the whole interview, bro. This line of questioning is nasty, bro. This line of questioning is crazy that
they about to traumatize Gene, bro.
One of the most perverted acts. But this was be happening behind closed doors, bro.
My thing is, that's a hell of a lot of baby oil, bro. Baby oil is pretty slippery. That's a hell of a lot of baby oil, man. It seemed like they should have been slipping away from each other instead of locked in together. To me, it didn't seem like it's a lot too much baby oil, bro.
He ain't the only one. He probably been to other parties like that. He probably seen other dudes and other people that's just as rich as he is doing some crazy shit like this, bro.
Yeah, she also said how Diddy had her heating up the baby oil in a sink with hot water for freakos.
He put her ass to work, I guess, man. It's crazy. He put her to work, man, all kind of way. She's his girl. She's an employee. She's a singer. She's a sex slave. You understand? My man, the things that he had this little girl do, And the brainwashing, and people don't believe that she was brainwashed, man. They think that she thought of all this stuff. Even when she instructed the dude to pee in her mouth, he probably told her way before this, I want him to pee in your mouth. And she probably said before she got high, in my mouth? You want him to pee in my mouth? And then she got so high and on those drugs, she gonna allow him to do that because she'd rather take the piss in the mouth than the fist in the mouth.
Oh, wow.
And people don't see that.
Wow.
Now, I'm not hating on they sexual fantasies and the shit they doing, but the psychological point of it is that this is a young girl. And I can't believe that she just want a mofo to pee in her mouth. She trying to please dude, bro. And she was doing anything to try to please him. You know what I'm saying? So I guess she was taking the piss in the mouth instead of the fist in the mouth.
Wow.
And speaking
That's
of the
crazy.
urine situation, escort actually testified that Diddy got mad at him for pissing on Cassie too much.
How do you determine how much piss it is? You know what I'm saying? But dude is a demon, bro. Dude is a demon.
Damn.
I realized he was a demon at Shine trial. And I don't care what nobody say, man. And like when people still talk and keep on talking, if that priest ever come out and he talking, if people keep talking, you'll find out that a lot of shit that Gene Deal has said has been the truth and nothing but the truth. I was there. I was there when that priest or whoever he was rubbed that stuff on his head, put his hand on top of him, told him to grab the bird out the cage, the white dove, and he threw the dove in the air, and the dove acted like he ain't have no wings and hit the fucking ground. Boom! That motherfucker started walking my way. I'm looking like this, bro. I'm like, and he just walked past me. Like he didn't even see me. We going to the same place. We about to go to Shine trial. He walked past me, bro. Didn't say nothing. And in my mind, I'm saying, shh, 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 shh. Bah, 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 bah. And I know that's the the Jason music, but in my mind,
That nigga Gene
it was
crazy.
like the Damien music to me. And I was like, yo, that nigga is Damien. I swear for the living God, bro. That's what went through my mind. I said, yo, this nigga is Damien when that bird fell down there. And I was like, yo, that shit was crazy, man. I know that's off the subject, man, but that dude, you can't tell me, bro. That dude was possessed with some kind of demon, man. He was possessed with some kind of demon. Want to be in all this red, this dark rooms with the music blasting. It had to be a certain temperature.
Damn, did it?
You know, a certain type of music for the vibration they were saying. Come on, bro.
And you really believe that he had her brainwashed to that extent?
My man, I seen a lot of beautiful women around Diddy. And whether it's the money, the promises, or whatever, it gets them. I've seen women walk out the room and I was like, damn, when did she come here? And they was bad. And they had this smile on their face. Like, I was like, it got to be for the money. It's got to be for the money or whatever, or the status, or to be somewhere. Yo, she had a 10-album deal, brother. And I don't even think she put out an album.
I think she did get
And
one album, I
she
believe.
wanted to be the next star. She could have been Aaliyah, like Aaliyah. She could have been music like J-Lo. She could have been a lot of things because what she didn't have, he gave to her. He helped enhance her beauty, getting her teeth fixed, getting her hair done, her boob job, giving her a personal trainer that she ended up marrying. He gave her the persona of being a great artist without doing what he should have done musically for her. She put out 1 or 2 songs, I think. Did she ever put out an album? I don't think she put out
Yeah, I
one
think
album.
so. Yeah, she put out an album.
She put out an album?
Yeah, one.
Okay. 1. 9 more to go. But the things that she did in order to have that deal, it came with her soul being tortured, probably for the rest of her life, man.
And like I said before, the strongest person I feel like, besides Cassie, to tell her testimony and her truths, I'm gonna say her husband, man. Her husband. He had to sit there and watch his wife, pregnant with his child in her stomach, tell these things, bro. That he maybe heard some things, but not everything that she's telling. So it may be all new to him as well, bro. He's a strong guy. Very strong guy.